here was actually brought in because they wanted it to run it on the diagnostic path. Okay, as you can see, it's checked. It's actually ready to go. But I'm holding back on this because I wanted to go over a few things on this car here. Okay, first things first is that I want to remove one of the myths that are there. Okay, when you go up there and if you get on your list and it says inspect the car and you run it in the diagnostic path and then you bring it back out and you check the oil and you check the electric and you still are not getting passed, the reason why the car is not released is because the steering rack and maybe the drivetrain have not been inspected. See them down there? That's the steering rack in gray. See the axles? Now you may go up there and say, "Hey, hold on, no, that's bogus. How is that like that? I just put it on a diagnostic path." Yeah, let's take a look at the diagnostic path. It's a straight path. And what does this thing actually do? Brake and shake. How are you testing the stress of the drivetrain and steering on the front section of this car on a path designed to brake and shake? You following what I'm saying? You can't. That's why you take it out on a road test. The road test will finish everything else that had not gotten inspected, as in drivetrain and bouncing and all that other stuff. Because the springs and the shocks and the bushings will get tested, because you can see down here the lower bushing is tested as well as the control arm and the springs, because all this is doing is bouncing up and down. Even the tie rods can be checked on that. See? And they evolve in it because they also bounce up and down with it. But on the same coin, they also don't have to. They could also be taken underneath the stress test of steering the vehicle. You need to take, when you do your diagnostics, you need to do both tests on the car. Okay? That's how you're not getting around. You can't even get around that in reality. And that's in the real world. Okay? Plus, this nice little car here, let's look at that oil for a second. Okay, this is dirty oil. Now, keep in mind the way this looks, because this is like dirty, but it's not dirty as in need to be changed. You can get away with letting this car go like that. Okay? So I wanted to point that out. Now we're going to do this. I'm going to run this on the driving course so that you can see what it will do next. Be right back. Okay, we're back now. Now that we've driven this thing on the driving course, now let's take a look at it. See what I mean? So when you're sitting there and you're looking, you're like, "Oh, you don't need to do it." Yeah, you do. There is no you don't need to. You got to. You cannot test stuff that is stress for go and power in a room that shakes and tests your braking system, because there's nothing here to test the driving. How do you test that? I mean, you could use its brake torque and test it the hard way, but I don't think you'll have a job very long doing that. That's a good way to get out of a job. You see what I'm saying though? Okay, now this vehicle doesn't require full inspection, but if it had to, then of course, you know, right now, because we took it out on the road, that gearbox definitely got tested all the way down to the clutch, so it's all covered. So anything you probably would have to do is check the air cleaner and the hoses. The flow meter was part of the OBD test. So really there's not much to check into after that once you've done that, except for what, the exhaust and a few things. That's the beauty of having the test pad, because now you got an OBD test, you got a test drive, and you got a brake and shake room that covers everything. And these other small stuff, well, that's just visual. So that ain't nothing for you to go and inspect. So basically, pretty much half your job is already done. So I wanted to bring that up and point that out. Moving on. Ka-ching.